A study from the University of Michigan found that people who frequently prioritize others' needs over their own, the so-called nice people, are more likely to experience symptoms of depression and anxiety. You'd think being kind brings happiness, but for many it brings a quiet sadness no one sees. Let's talk about why this happens, because it's not about being too nice. It's about what kindness often hides underneath. Kind people are often emotional caretakers, always there when someone needs to talk, always the shoulder to cry on. But here's the catch: they rarely feel safe expressing their own emotions. They downplay their struggles to avoid being a burden. Over time, that emotional suppression doesn't just disappear, it builds. And what it builds into is internalized sadness, the kind that grows slowly and quietly until it becomes depression. Psychologists call this emotional invalidation of the self. And it's more common than you think, especially among people raised in families where they were taught to stay strong or not cause problems.
When kindness becomes an identity, it's a slippery slope. A lot of kind people, teachers, nurses, social workers, caretakers, feel valuable only when they're being useful to others. This mindset, called self-worth dependency, means their happiness is constantly tied to how others react to them. Did they help enough? Did they say the right thing? Are they appreciated? But life isn't fair. People forget to say thank you. And when that appreciation doesn't come, kind people don't just feel unrecognized, that they feel invisible. There's a harsh truth. When you're consistently kind, you become a magnet for people who take more than they give. These aren't just needy friends. They're emotional vampires. They offload their problems onto you, drain your time and energy, and rarely ask how you're doing. The worst part? Kind people rarely say no. They fear being seen as selfish or unhelpful. But constant giving without receiving creates deep emotional fatigue. And emotional fatigue is a direct road to depression. Kind people often confuse kindness with passivity. They avoid confrontation, even when something feels deeply unfair. In the workplace, that means staying silent when overlooked. In relationships, that means tolerating toxic behavior to keep the peace. But here's the paradox: suppressing conflict doesn't create peace, it creates resentment. And unspoken resentment doesn't stay buried forever. It turns inward, feeding a sense of powerlessness that's a major predictor of depression. Here's one of the saddest realities for kind people: they're often surrounded by people they've helped, yet they still feel alone. It's not that others don't care, but kind people often put up a front. "I'm fine. Don't worry about me. You've got enough going on." They don't ask for help. They don't show vulnerability. And so others assume they don't need support. This creates an invisible gap. They're everyone's safe place, but they have no safe place of their own.
Kindness is a gift, but when it comes at the cost of your own well-being, it can turn into a silent weight. If you see yourself in this, you're not broken. You're just human, a deeply feeling, deeply giving human who maybe forgot that you matter too. Take care of yourself. Even kindness needs boundaries.